On this edition of Prism, enter the heart of a new art world. We'll reshape your perspective of art with movement and rhythm. Meet a Silicon Valley artist turning his palette digital. Then an artist whose canvas is huge and all natural. And we'll introduce you to a woman whose body is her art. It's all coming up next on Prism.
Hello everyone, I'm Diana Lu.
And I'm Steven C. Welcome to Prism.
Today we are focusing on art, but not your typical paintings or sculpture.
We want to show you some different ways of creating and appreciating art.
Now imagine your mind is a canvas and your brush is a drumstick or your face.
That is what taiko drummers and kung fu fighters must do to become masters of their kinetic art.
Kinetic art depends on movement for an effect. Watch how two grandmasters teach these two ancient art forms.
Kinetic art means movement. The ancient art of taiko drumming is more than 15 centuries old. Kung Fu is a martial art that also depends on movement. These two art forms are both rooted in energy and power.
4, 5.
Switch.
John Nash is a great master of martial arts.
Front of your groin. Go.
Seiichi Tanaka is the Grand Master of the San Francisco Taiko Dojo. Symbolism is important in the art world. These kinetic arts feature symbols like drumsticks that represent honor.
To me, that's a treasure. So I use the stick special occasion. Very feel something very close.
The Kung Fu belt symbolizes experience and talent.
Well, it's degrees of black belt, yeah. Every time I put it on, it's a reminder of who I am and what I represent. And I try to represent that as good as I can. In the attack, go. Here.
These kinetic art forms, when taught by masters, require attention and discipline.
They just copy what I do. But just moving, just a regular exercise. But when you move with a whole, all power.
In the beginning, it's more about how to kick and punch, how hard, how strong you can get. And then later, as you learn the intricacies of what you're doing. With a score like that. And eventually, you'll go into an automatic mode. In other words, if someone throws something, you will do something automatically. You won't even know what it is that you're going to do, but it'll just happen.
It's easy to get cut. So again, we come in here, go. Now, here. And then shove them out of the way.
Easy practice and hard practice. Easy practice, you just get some easy. So if you want to be good, need lots of practice. My teaching style is very hard one, based on martial art.
Head smash. Step on them.
What we do, but it's a pretty hard style system. We have a lot of impact. See, everything I have in the school is for learning how to hit hard.
In the kinetic art world, the spiritual side is as important as the physical.
Muscle also important, but the whole energy comes from the Mother Earth.
That power flows through the artist's soul and
to your body, then come here, then boom.
When you hit the drum, you don't just hit the drum, you hit through the drum.
But when I was young, like your time, I have lots of energy, so I didn't need from a Mother Nature power or young in. But now I really understand.
That spirituality that flows through taiko players and kung fu artists reflects the passions and strengths of their dojos and their grand masters. The beauty of Kung Fu movement is why it's called a martial art. That same sort of physical and spiritual beauty are in Taiko, and allow us to enjoy these two different but similar kinetic art forms.
You can see why Kung Fu is called a martial art and the connection to the kinetic art of Taiko.
From feet and sticks to computers and science, we want to introduce you to a man with a physics degree from Oxford, but he found his true calling in a new art form. Next on Prism.
Jeremy Sutton once studied the blackness of space. Now he's making a living as a painter, exploring all the colors on his palette.
But Jeremy is also on the forefront of the next frontier in art, the computer.
Love it.
Jeremy Sutton is an artist most known for blending multiple types of media and creating art that is truly captivating.
But with digital paint, there's an incredible freedom. I love it. I flow with it. It's like a second skin for me. It's like I just love it. So I can do so much, so efficiently, so quickly, and with such diversity of color and mark and texture.
Mel Solomon admires Sutton's work.
He can just sit down and have someone sitting next to him or in front of him, and he can draw a portrait of that person in less than a half hour.
And his whole interaction with the computer is always through a pen, an iPad Touch and stylus, or by motion and gesture.
I'm modulating pressure that I apply here. So even though you can't really see it, as I make a brush stroke, I press harder or softer, and that in turn controls things like the brush thickness, the brush opacity. There are differences and parallels between working traditionally with physical media on a canvas versus working in a computer with digital paint. Obviously, the physical media, you get a bit messier, you've got more tactile sense.
I love his style. I love the colors and the lines and how everything flows, and so I was always inspired by his work.
Although Sutton has professionally been in the industry for 20 years, his admiration for art began as a child.
And I started when I was about 3 years old. So I've essentially drawn since then. I covered my bedroom walls with drawings. Oh, it's hilarious.
Sutton firmly believed his dream of being an artist would come true.
I remember saying to my mom at some point, pointing at something on a wall in a museum and saying, I want to be on that wall. So I had this vision when I was a little kid, I would be a famous artist one day.
But curiosity would later draw Sutton into exploring a different path, studying the world of science.
What I was interested in was research and, understanding the universe. That's really what led me in the end to going to Oxford and doing a degree in physics.
While his mind was fully devoted to understanding the universe,
I loved Einstein and all that stuff.
His love for art always pulled him back, but physics remained an important tool in understanding the creative process.
What I'm seeing is very complex. There's a huge amount of data that is there in front of me. Training in physics is really a training in problem solving. Taking complexity and bringing it down to simplicity. That's exactly what physics is. That is what I do as an artist.
Noam Eisen, Sutton's friend of 20 years, is also a physicist turned artist.
Of his ability to mix two general approaches, that of technology and oils, and combine those two to create some masterful works. Very, very unique, very vibrant.
Wow, that's great.
In 2011, Sutton was selected by the San Francisco General Hospital to paint one of 8 large hearts to be displayed around the city.
He was commissioned to do what he thought might be reflective of the city's culture and spirit. He managed to capture in that heart many of the wonderful icons of San Francisco.
I thought I'm going to have a wrap-around, two-sided heart. I'll have the black and white film noir on one side, and then on the other side I'm going to have my sort of glorious tribute to San Francisco.
The San Francisco Heart, which Sutton named it, was viewed by over 6 million people at Union Square over a 6-month period.
And I couldn't believe it. It was the best position in the city.
On top of producing cutting-edge work, he also enjoys helping people express themselves through art.
My students range from professional artists, professional photographers, to people who've never ever drawn in their life.
Been doing it for a while, just totally for fun, and I'm now retired. I just love to sit at a coffee shop and just start drawing things. I just love being creative.
I think everybody can enjoy drawing. Whatever emerges from it, it's always something that can give satisfaction. Why not go for it and see what happens?
If you're interested in learning how to turn your tablet into a canvas, Jeremy offers classes. His website is jeremysutton.com.
Our next artist also had a change of a career. Now he's making a living using canvas as big as a beach. Coming up on Prism. Andres Amador used to work in the IT department of a bank. He wanted out to become an artist.
But you will not find his painting hanging on a gallery wall. He's the leader of a new movement called environmental art.
The beach environment has an allure and serenity all its own. It's difficult to improve on this beauty, but there are some artists working with nature to create a new art form. They treat the environment as a giant canvas. Andres Amador is one of these artists.
I just happened to be on the beach, and I realized that the beach could be an amazing canvas to do these things.
This revelation came to Amador one day on the beach as he happened to draw a circle.
Oh, a circle. A circle is the unity, it's the everything. Okay, so now I'm gonna walk along the outside.
Amador draws detail lines in the sand using metal rakes, walking back and forth for hours at a time.
This one is inspired by water pattern.
Sometimes Amador creates geometric patterns. Other times the patterns are romantic or organic. Amador is not alone. Back in the 1960s, artist Richard Long walked back and forth along a straight line in the grass in the English countryside, leaving a track that he photographed in black and white. Long was a pioneer in using the environment to explore relationships between time, distance, and geography. Today in the Northern Hemisphere, Simon Beck produces about 30 snow drawings every winter. All these works of art are made by counting paces and using only a compass and snowshoes. When the environmental art movement began, it was perceived as a protest against the commercialization of art. Art history professor Cedric Wentworth explains the movement's current popularity.
Earth art is very popular because right now many young artists are trying to break down boundaries that a lot of young artists and a lot of respected older artists believe that the boundaries of what art is and the fact that it should be in a museum and it should be in a gallery are contrived and artificial. So by producing a work of earth art that can be washed away or that disappears, that's an act of humility that rejects the kind of European arrogant culture.
Amador comes from a scientific background. He has no formal artistic training.
I don't claim to do art, to create art, to be an artist. Everyone's an artist because everyone can create and everyone has something to share.
Amador teaches the sand art in workshops, believing that he can help everyone to explore and connect with their environment.
And creating it was fun. I mean, who doesn't want to hang out on the beach? Like, if you look around, you can see art and everything.
But not everyone feels the same way.
No, I don't see it as art. I just see it as patterns. To me, it's creative, but I don't know what to say other than that.
When facing cynics and doubters, Amador asks himself that important question.
What's art? Like, who can say what art is? Does it have to be pleasing to call it art? If it moves you, if it touches you, if you feel inspired by it, something's being transmitted, maybe that's what art is, I don't know.
In 1999, Amador quit his job in a bank's IT department, opting for a new life as an artist and a father.
Because it was soul numbing, soul deadening, I saw that I couldn't sacrifice my experience in the now for the payoff in the future, which was really what it was about. All right. I wish I could go back and thank that person, who was me, for having the insight to not sacrifice my life.
Like most environmental artists, Amador's work will soon be washed away forever. And tomorrow, the beach will become a brand new canvas.
It's difficult to understand working so hard on something only to see it washed away with the next tide.
Like kinetic art, it's art that you have to enjoy in the moment. Coming up next on Prism is a portrait of an artist in her own words.
Now Prism would like to present a portrait of an artist in their own words.
Meet performance artist Qinmin.
My name is Qinmin Liu, and I am an interdisciplinary artist and also a performance artist. I am a dancer and I have been dancing for more than 16 years. I believe as an artist, the body is a free item. It shouldn't be limited by time, by space, by people, even by the society. I want to say the stories, the voice of body language. It's not only how we dance or like just a technique from the body. I want like all the different kind of expressions. Ink. I think when people think ink, it's a material represent Asian culture. But I want to use my way to collaborate a traditional Chinese element on my face, on my body, and then to show its movement, making conversation with the image of ink.
Performing with Qimi, what technique you have is not her concern. It's about who you are on the inside, how you express yourself, how you view life and the world. I believe most dance techniques teach technique to create natural movement, whereas Qimi takes natural movement to create the technique.
I don't say I am a dancer or I'm a choreographer or I'm a performance artist. I think I just an individual. see we're a new vision art group. I want to bring the group of people to experiment movements, body language, visual arts, painting, a lot of styles, and to really give the community our voices.
For more information on Qingmin and her work, check out her website at qingminarts.com.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Diana Lu.
And I'm Steven C. Goodbye from all of us at Prism.
To learn more about Seiichi Tanaka's dojo, go to sftaiko.com. To enroll in John Nash's Kung Fu classes, go to northerntigerkenpo.com. To see more digital paintings and learn about his classes, the website is jeremysutton.com. Environmental art featured pictures and footage courtesy of richardlong.com and snowart.gallery. The works of these environmental artists were also shown. To see more examples of sand art, go to andresamadorarts.com. Qingmin and her latest performances can all be found at qingminarts.com.